Yes, people, so that's what I'm talking about. Human rights. Elements of UK society have always had an uneasy relationship with human rights, seeing it as too much bureaucracy and sometimes defending what seems indefensible. But we often forget that the right to criticise, complain and protest is as much protected by the human right to expression.
We are here in a very unique place, Speaker's Corner in Hyde Park in London. And we're here to talk about the freedom of expression and the right to protest. And this is the ideal place because this is where freedom of expression comes to life every Sunday. We learn a lot about the society we live in when we look at the way it upholds human rights. Freedom of expression is just one example. As soon as you leave the house and open your mouth, whatever you say is protected. You don't agree with what's happening? Fine, you can go out there and protest. You can join union doctors, trade unions, leavers or remainers in their protest, which is also protected by Article 11.
The freedom of expression forms an integral part of society. Article 10 of the Human Rights Act protects what is essential for any democracy to function: the exchange of opposing views in order to fuel a critical debate. We need to be able to argue really with one another to figure out who's most convincing. But can we say and print what we want? You may have heard of the Snoopers Charter, which actually refers to the Investigatory Powers Bill, soon to be an act. Do we limit the freedom of the press when we allow public authorities access to secretive communications of whistleblowers and journalists? Is our freedom of expression limited by the Charter?
Society as a whole, however, doesn't seem to take well to human rights. Politicians and certain members of the public argue that we don't need the Human Rights Act or other forms of human rights protection. The European Convention of Human Rights is constantly being criticised for being a European instrument, whereas it was actually Great Britain that took part in writing the document and making sure it would be binding. Think of human rights the next time you leave the house and ask yourself, are human rights really threatening us in society? Or are they just pushing us to be a better version of ourselves?